Welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to talk about Souls-type games. You know, like Elden Ring, Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro. So I've been seeing, kind of like a mixed bag with this. Some people are like, oh yeah, man, From Software games are great. And then other people are like, man, those games are way too hard. I can't play those. And people even get mad at the difficulty of these Souls games because, let's face it, some of these games are really appealing to a lot of people. You know, the environments, the settings, they're interesting enough to where they're like, oh my gosh, I want to play them, but man, this is gonna be too hard. Well, I'm here to kind of explain my journey a little bit with From Software games, with Dark Souls games, and kind of give you and try to kind of give you both sides of the story so that you understand. My first experience was with Bloodborne. I had bought this game on PlayStation 4. I buy a lot of games. I buy whatever, you know. I too had heard of Dark Souls games before that. I was like, oh gosh, man, I don't want to really play something like really super hard. You know, I didn't want to do it back then. So I bought Bloodborne because I liked the way it looked. I got to the second boss, Father Gascoigne, and he kept beating me and beating me and beating me and I just was like, you know what, whatever, you know. I took it back over to GameStop. I traded it in, and I was like, man, I don't ever want to play one of these games ever again. I was like, this is just too hard. And right then, I was like, yep, I'm done. It never really occurred to me that it's not that them games are too hard. It's that everything else is so freaking easy that it just, you know, like once you get into that rhythm of just playing these easy games, you know, one after another, you just beat them and buy another one, beat them and buy another one. You start to like, you get too comfortable. And that's all you ever play is these easy games. You get a little bit of a challenge and you instantly drop the difficulty or something like that. You just get to a point where you just want to coast through every game. And that was me for a little while because, you know, having a family, working a full-time job, but still loving video games, but just not having enough time to like sit and play video games every single day. So all you get your weekends. And this is mostly for older gamers. You know, you younger guys, you guys can usually get through things. Challenge doesn't really bother you. It's us older gamers. We get to a point where we're like, man, we just don't have the time. So we just sit and we go through these games, and it just becomes like a weekend adventure. We're weekend warriors where we just sit and we play our games on the weekend. And then we try to get the most experience that we can get out of those games as quick as we can, because let's face it, you play a game all weekend and then you want to go over to the next weekend to play it some more. Man, like I mean, there's a strong chance that you're going to lose interest in that game and you're not going to play it again. And then you're going to find something else while you're sitting there Saturday morning flicking through the store. Oh, yeah, that looks interesting. You buy that, and then you get a whole collection of digital video games like me and the rest of the old guys. And then you continuously stay in this cycle of just buying these games and buying these games and buying these games. Well, me, I took the easy way out, and I just created a YouTube channel, and I talk about video games now, where a lot of us probably haven't done that yet. So we're stuck in this like repetitive cycle, just trying to get through these games. Well, let me tell you why the Souls games really helped me a lot. So Bloodborne, a whole year goes by after I had taken that back. I was like, you know what, man, it's $20. It was interesting. I loved the setting of that game. It looked really cool. It gave me my favorite game, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It was giving me like Castlevania vibes. I want to play it. So I tried again. All my friends at work would be talking about how they beat Bloodborne and all of this stuff. And I was like, all right, whatever, man. I'm going to do it. So I went and got it. I paid another $20 for it. I brought it home. I ended up going from the switch knife over to the switch axe. And there we go. I mean, the rest is history. I ended up beating that game in about 45 hours. It was hard. It was tough. It was challenging, but the faster combat of the Bloodborne, like once you started getting into it and leveling up and finding more stuff, it started getting, I mean, it never got easy. It was always a challenge. You know, by the time I was done beating a boss, my heart was beating really fast and I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. You know, like it was like that feeling that it gave me. I was like, wow, this is amazing. So right after that, Dark Souls 3 was out. So I went and I picked up Dark Souls 3, and Dark Souls 3 was a lot easier than Bloodborne because it's a little bit slower paced. It was still great, but it was slower. So I mean, I love that one too. I beat those two, and then and then like other games would come out in between that. You know, like Lords of the Fallen. You'd get, you know, like these other games. What were those called? They're there was just a bunch of other games that would come out and they would kind of be like a Souls experience. Never really nailed that Souls experience, but they're close enough to where you can play these and still be able to, like, you know, get that Souls experience. But I don't think I mean, the Souls games are the only ones that have really given me that feeling. You know, we had like Code Vein, we had Neo 1 and Neo 2, you know, those games are freaking hard. So what happens is I start buying all of these games. You know, I get to Neo 1, Neo 2, and then Sekiro comes out. I'm almost done with Sekiro. I'm pretty far into that. I think after playing a lot of Elden Ring will get me back in the mood to go back and, you know, finish that game. But I mean, you'll be on these bosses and you'll fight them 50, 60, 70, 80 times before you finally beat them. That doesn't mean you're bad at video games. That doesn't mean you're bad at it. I mean, these games are built to challenge you. Honestly, if they had easy modes, they wouldn't be as memorable of an experience as they are now. They take a lot of learning. You kind of have to take a step back. You have to focus. You have to learn. Like tonight, take tonight for instance. I was streaming Bloodborne. I was streaming Elden Ring, and I'm going through it and I'm playing it, and I get to this boss. I mean, I'm obviously underleveled for this boss, but I mean, people run through these games without upgrading at all. You know, I mean, like, you're never underpowered. It's just you need to find certain stuff to make you a little bit stronger or whatever. So after the stream, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go back and pick a fight with that guy again. You know, because I was interested in it, and I was like, man, this guy really challenged me. I want to go back there and, you know, just really focus on it. Well, I went back and I beat him on my second try. I filmed the whole thing. I put a video out. There's a video out right now. It takes time to learn the moves and everything that go along with that. And the more you, like, with most Souls games, yeah, it's like beating your head against the wall. It really is. But I mean, I had the ability in Elden Ring to just be like, all right, whatever, I don't want to fight this guy. So I could turn around and leave and go somewhere else and fight my way through something else. But I decided, you know, I was like, man, I want to go back there and try that again. And that's the way that Elden Ring is probably the most inviting of the Souls games ever made. Like, there are going to be some times where these things are going to be hard and you're going to have to go and explore. Don't think of these games as, oh my gosh, I had to get through this on a weekend. Don't do that. Like, these ones here, it's going to be hard to get through one of these on a weekend, like it is. If you need to watch a guide, there's this guy on YouTube. His name's Fighting Cowboy. I watched his videos to help get me through Bloodborne. Like on like some of the stuff, you know, like finding things, all of that stuff. Like, I would literally, like, watch the video and then I would go and play through it because I was conditioned. I had been conditioned to play easy games because they were easy for me to get through on a weekend. So yeah, I'd watch those and I would play, you know, along, watching what he would do and kind of get a feel for, like, how to play those games. But once you learn how to play them and once you understand that, like, man, this is basically Castlevania Symphony of the Night, you know, all of these From Software games play like that in the 3D realm. The reason why Elden Ring is probably going to be my favorite one ever is because this game is freaking huge. I'm a level 50 right now, and I don't even think I've scratched the surface of this. I'm finding stuff every single time I play it, and I'm getting farther, and I'm getting, to a different spot, and I'm getting stuck here, and so I'll go somewhere else, and I'll play around there. I'll get stronger. I'll come back, and then I'll be able to get through that part. It just takes some time, and I'll tell you what, even though like this game's been out for over a month now, I have been able to actively go back to it, play it, make progress, and be like, yeah, dude, and I feel good about it. I don't feel like I have to just sit down and like get through the game as quick as possible, because I know that I love it, and I don't want it to get to a point where I'm just like, man, this is just, I don't want it to get to a point where I'm like, oh man. So I just make time each week to sit down and play it. Like today, I played it most of the day today. I played some Godfall today and everything, but the thing is I don't think people should be mad at these type of games. I don't. I mean, there's these guys that are going at it on YouTube right now over this game, and it doesn't need to be that way. There just needs to be a way to encourage people to play these. Don't be mad at games like Elden Ring. Be mad at all the other companies for making these easy games that don't challenge you. I mean, because it's kind of a waste of money. It really is. It's kind of a waste of money. I blew through Horizon Forbidden West in 24 hours, and my gosh, man, like once you do start playing these Dark Souls games and you get really good at them, and you start to learn how to like deal with challenges, like games like Horizon Forbidden West are even easier. So then there's a chance that you're going to be in a bigger bind if you like these games. Just play them at a harder difficulty, and you'll be fine. Like you'll still feel like you got your money's worth, and you'll still feel like you got challenged. So that's basically all I can say about it. Don't be mad at Souls games. Be mad at like the other games for being way too easy and wasting your time and not engaging you enough, like something like Elden Ring is going to do for you. I do recommend these games. I do recommend that you buy one, you hang on to it, and you play it at your leisure. Don't try to stress yourself out about it. Just pick it up, start playing it. And then, once you get to a point, and don't be afraid to look up don't be afraid to look up Fighting Cowboy. Like he makes walkthroughs for all of these games. I think the last one I watched him play, I watched Bloodborne, and then I watched Dark Souls 3. And then after that, I've been slowly moving away from those and doing them on my own. So, I moved away from those and I started doing them on my own. But he makes some pretty good content. He talks you through it and everything. I mean, I don't even do it justice. When I'm on there playing, that's just me playing the game the way I play the game. So, if you want to watch one of my streams when I'm streaming, some Elden Ring, and ask questions and stuff, like, yeah, dude, I'll definitely answer you and try to help you as much as I can. But I play those games for fun. I love Elden Ring. I think it's I mean, I gave it a 10 in the review that I did, because I had already surpassed the amount of time that I played Horizon Forbidden West in Elden Ring. So I was like, yeah, dude, I can definitely review this, because I'm going to be playing this for a long time. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Sometimes I do like little random talks like this about stuff, but yeah, dude, these Souls games definitely have a place out there. And what else do you got to lose? You spend a lot of money on all these other dumb, easy games. What do you got to lose? Really? If a game challenges you, it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's a game. You can turn it off and come back to it later. And that's the thing. The challenge of these games, it challenges you just enough to where you'll set it down, you'll back away. But then like a few days later, you're like, my gosh, dude, I want to try that again. And then you go back, and then like, boom, you'll get through that part, and you'll be like, wow, it's weird. Like the muscle memory and everything will come right back to you. And like, you'll be in a calmer position, because like when you're first playing it and you're like, first get there, you're like, oh my gosh, you're so nervous. But then when you stop playing and you come back a little bit later, it's a lot. You're coming back to it with a different state of mind. The different state of mind, you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. I want to challenge this. I know what to expect. So it's easier to go into it and see what you got to do. Like I said, I stopped the stream earlier, and then I went back after I'd calmed down a little bit, and boom, I was able to get through that and be victorious. So that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Give these games a try. They have an amazing way of keeping you engaged to where you get to the point where, oh my gosh, I want to quit, but then you come back. And then you will eventually get through these games because you'll have them. And I do recommend buying it digital. That way you can't go sell it. That way you're forced to look at it and you'll come back to it. Like, just do it. Elden Ring is probably the best one to start with, I would think. I mean, I guess you could do like, if you're on Xbox, you could do, I don't know if I'd do Sekiro, maybe Dark Souls 3, maybe Dark Souls 1 remaster. If you're on PlayStation 5, you could do Demon Souls. Demon Souls I'm struggling with, so maybe not Demon Souls. Demon Souls is a little bit, I don't know. I mean, I can get through it. I've never been able to like sit down with the right state of mind for that game. Because I've always been like, kind of like, man, I can't believe this thing's only 1440p, and it's my mental block. It's stupid. I'll get over it eventually and play it. But yeah, that's where it sits. I'm sorry I wasted 15, almost 16 minutes of your time. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.